Virginia or the surrounding areas. So when you're hearing these people talking, you say to yourself, yeah, I'm where I am. I don't think I could be where they are. No, because they were where you were 2, 3, 5 years ago. You can get that education here in our region. You can get that experience here in our region, and you can be where they are here in our region. So I wanted to bring some of the industries up here and invite them to talk to kind of give you all an idea, because you're going to have the opportunity to go into the exhibit hall later today and speak with them, network with them, put a face with a name. You don't know in the next 2, 3, 5 years whether you might be calling on these people again to say, hey, I met you at this expo. Do you remember me? I'd like to send you a resume. I'd like to get a job. So first, what I'd like to do is I'd like to have our panelists kind of go down through, if you don't mind, introduce yourself, talk about, at least originally talk about the company you're with and give them an idea where they're located. Our mics aren't super sensitive, so you may have to be a little close. Feel free to pull them closer if you want, but we can start first with you, Jarrod. I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. So my name is Jarrod Wells.
Sorry. There you go.
Hello. Okay, my name is Jarrod Wells, and I work for the State Office of Technology in the Security Operations Center. So what I do there is I'm primarily in network security, meaning I work with next generation firewalls like the Palo Altos. We get different requests every day from different state agencies requesting to allow use of certain applications or ports on the network. My job is to go through and follow our internal policies, make sure that we can grant or deny that request. And if we allow it, I make the necessary configurations within the firewall to allow that program to work across our state networks. Awesome. In addition to that, we work with endpoint security. So if there's any issues with malware, any potential compromises, anything like that, we go through and can kind of remediate that and secure the endpoints as well. So I kind of get to see both sides of it, the network side and the endpoint security end of the spectrum. So it's a really great position. I love it. I'm learning a lot. And yeah, it's always something new every day, so it never gets boring for sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Jarrod. John, can you talk about NIS?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is John Null. I'm in business development with Network Innovation Solutions. We're a Huntington-based company that does managed IT services for small to medium businesses and government entities. So I work with a lot of cities. I work with a lot of county government. We help secure their devices. I'm primarily on the hardware side, so we work with I say from the internet in. So we connect into the firewalls, the switches that keeps the infrastructure up and running and safe and secure, and then we deal all the way down to the managed services to the end users' PCs. For the government side, we have all of our right compliances and follow all of the laws that they have to follow in procurement, as well as security requirements. We follow a National Institute of Standards and Technology program to secure that helps us cover all areas of all industries. So that's banking and finance, healthcare, education, government, police departments, and that's primarily what we focus on. I've got pretty much every Cisco certification you can have under house with somebody, and we work a lot with advanced routing and switching, cybersecurity, voice, IP telephony, collaboration, all in-house. And my team serves as the IT department or assists smaller IT departments in doing what they need to do to stay safe online.
And you have a really, really cool setup out there everyone should see right on this side of the wall. You have your own, you get your own mobile hotspot with your
my own network, right.
Yeah, so make sure you take the opportunity to go in and check that out, especially if you're in the Cisco track. It's pretty amazing.
I'm Gabriel McGinnis. I'm an account executive at Advantage Technology. We're a managed service provider based in Charleston. We've been around the area for 20 plus years now. We've expanded into Bridgeport and also Frederick, Maryland, but we have customers across the United States. A lot like NIS, we do a lot of managed service we're a managed service provider, I'm sorry. We do everything under the sun when it comes to IT, cybersecurity. We set up data centers, telecom, and also structured cabling and stuff like that. So if you're interested in maybe an internship or something like that, come talk to us at our table. We'd love to talk with you and just kind of, give you guys an idea of what we do and give you some more detail. So we'd love to talk with you.
Thanks. Justin, I know that you are, just for slight clarification, Justin's one of my current students who's interning at Alpha. I picked him out and said, hey, Justin, come tell us about Alpha, since they can't be here, because I just want you all to hear about it. But feel free to, find him later and pick his brain. So I'm not expecting you to have the knowledge, the wealth of knowledge they have, but can you talk a little bit about Alpha Technologies or Alpha Innovations up in Hurricane?
Yeah, like Patrick said, my name's Justin. I'm here at Mountwest.
Can you get a little closer, sir? Sorry.
I am currently an intern at Alpha Innovations, or formerly Alpha Technologies. I'm labeled as Tier 1 support, but I do a lot more than that. My day-to-day basis consists of either going on site to set up a workstation, or maybe remoting into a firewall to set up email protection for spam and stuff. Just a broad range of stuff, especially password resets. That's a lot of what I do. But yeah, we're an MSP. We do a lot of backups, cybersecurity, just normal end user stuff. Maybe someone's having a problem with an application or just anything like that. I can't speak for the whole company. I'm just an intern. But yeah, it's a really good company. We are looking for an intern. So if anyone's in there maybe year 2 or just interested, we're always looking for interns. We have a new internship program coming up. I don't know the details about it. I just heard about it. But yeah, just come talk to me if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to assist.
Thank you, Justin. Mm-hmm. And Wendy, can you tell us about Digit 3, please?
Absolutely. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? My name is Wendy Goodenough, and I own Digit 3, which is a technology company in Huntington, West Virginia, along with my husband, Brad, who said, hey, why don't you go up there? Thanks, honey. So a lot like you all, we are a managed service provider in Huntington. Our footprint's big. We're in Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky. We go all the way down to Tennessee, North Carolina, and even Naples, Florida. We do the same gamut of services. Brad always says if there's a blinky light, we deal with it, except door access. We don't do that. We do help desk support, all the cybersecurity protections, all those things. I am not a techie. I am an attorney by trade. So the way that I came into the technology realm is Brad and I were actually having dinner one night, and I was rewriting policies and procedures for a hospital system that had to do with technology, and working on security risk assessments, disaster recovery plans, written information security plans. And he said, what are you doing at work? And I came about in 2018, about the time that cybersecurity and technology merged. Because, you used to have tech companies, and this whole cybersecurity thing came in. And now technology and cybersecurity are interwoven. You cannot unscramble that egg. So I came on full-time with our company in 2018, and I do a lot with compliance, different entities and their requirements. It used to be kind of like the wild, wild west, security-wise, in terms of what your requirements would be. So I work a lot with different companies to make sure they meet their industry requirements. And I tell people all the time, I cannot fix your printer. I can make sure you're compliant with the FTC safeguards rule, but don't ask me to. I'm going to tell you to turn it off and turn it back on. So, and we do internships as well, and our current intern is right there.
Hey. Great, thank you. So now you guys kind of have an idea of what they do. I tried to think of questions someone walking up to the table might want to talk to you all about. So one of them that I thought about is what's the day-to-day like there? And to kind of give you all some background, what I mean is that Justin is an intern at Alpha Technologies. We also have on premises here an MSP by the name of Intiva. Their days are slightly different, to give you an idea. Upstairs, my students that work for Intiva, they have on a headset. They take calls from anywhere across the U.S. They're not getting out in their car and driving to California to fix that person's computer. So what their day-to-day looks like, while they may be troubleshooting the same thing, Justin, there is the opportunity that your customer may be in Hurricane and you may be forced to jump in the car. So can you all talk about at least in your experience, in your case, Justin or Jarrod, since you all aren't like over the companies, what's the common modality for someone working in your field? Are you hopping in a car potentially and going down? Are you stationary in one room? And am I right that definitely for the most part in the beginning, troubleshooting is where it all starts. Help desk is where it all starts. So we can start with you, Jarrod. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say that starting out in IT help desk is the best place to start.
Does the office technology, are they that way on the modality of things too?
Yeah, we're pretty stationary, at least as far as I go. I'm stationary. I never leave my office. I do know that the field techs who are help desk, I do know that they will travel on site if need be. If there's an issue that arises across the state, several of my colleagues have made the trip up to like Clarksburg or Wheeling. You know, we do have a couple technicians who are based up near Wheeling, so they can make house calls, so to speak, if something were to go wrong there. But for me, for the most part, and even when I was on help desk, I was usually always stationed. I was always pretty stationary. I never really traveled.
Worst case, if there was a ticket that needed escalated, then like you said, someone who makes those house calls, it got passed on to them basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, they would get in touch with the appropriate field tech who could go on site.
Okay. John, what about NIS?
We really do both. I'm on the sales side, the business development side. So, my day is typically I go out and see customers, do events like this, do a lot of our marketing shows, and then I sell the services of our team. So our team does have help desk support. We answer a live human being 24/7, and if a customer calls in and we can fix it remotely, that's our preferred method. If we have to roll on site, we will do so, and we will go out and fix that. So, a typical a day, we've been installing firewalls across a company across our region here. So I've had my engineers out yesterday installing network gear in restaurants, and they were crawling under counters and plugging it all up and making it all work. A couple, 3 days before the gear arrives in our office, they were in the office actually configuring and setting it all up. And we're building a wide area network with 67 locations all coming back into corporate. Once we get it all staged in the office, then we take it out and deploy it in the field. So we kind of do both, help desk, call-in support. Once these customers get online, we have access to their devices, their endpoint devices, their PCs, their network gear remotely, and we can typically fix 90% of the things without having to go on site, but we do roll if we have to.
Great. What about an Advantage?
Advantage is very similar. My day-to-day, I'm also in the account executive role, so I'm going out and seeing customers, consulting with them, asking a lot of questions. So I see everything under the sun from, perfectly patched in network racks to rat's nests. So I see it all. But we do also have field technicians and technicians that stay in the office and troubleshoot remotely. But we're really a blend. All of our technicians can expect to go and see a customer as well. So everybody's on the road at some point. So.
Great. What about Alpha, sir?
So at Alpha Innovations, normally all the NOC technicians and some of the networking team are mostly stationary. All the NOC technicians are usually always on the phones. But if a ticket comes in or a phone call that has to be done on site, it cannot be done remotely. We schedule an on-site visit that works best with the client, and one of us will be assigned to it, and we'll roll out and go fix it on site. And other than that, it's very similar to the other gentleman here. Mostly just the NOCs, like I said, we're just on the phones, and that's really all I can think of. That's
okay. That's fun. Yeah. Wendy, what about Digit 3?
I mean, we have the same model. We have help desk support, and we have, it's interesting. Like I said, I'm the technology realm wasn't where I started my career. So I was in the medical field, and I always say that to me, if you're not in the technology realm, you think you have an IT guy, and they can do everything. And I use the analogy a lot of times with a medical specialization and say you wouldn't go to your primary care physician for your kidneys or your heart. So we have the same group of folks, but we have guys that are different, and they have different skill sets, different experience levels, different preferences, and they're good at different things. So we have a team of guys that's kind of our road crew, And they go out, and they're out a lot, and they interact well with clients, and that's why we send them there. And we have other people that their skill set is more to be in the office. And we have, Brad and I are both business people by design. He started Digit 3. He's got his master's in MBA in technology management. And we have like a business approach very much. We do triage. We listen to what's the problem, what's the issue. If we can handle it remotely, of course, that's more efficient for everybody. But if you're going into tech, you'll find there's some special users that you just have to go on site. And we have started with that blend of cybersecurity and tech, which is, my printer doesn't work versus I think I've had a breach. We do differentiate with our staff members, and we escalate differently if it's a security incident. So we do have different teams for that.
Okay. I think a common question might be when people walk up to the table is, what should I specialize in if I want to come work for you? Like, what do you all do? I think about years ago when former company ATS would always talk to us. They always wanted Cisco students. They always wanted Microsoft students. They weren't looking for Juniper back then. They wanted Cisco people. So if there is any type of specialization you all already do, because that's your bread and butter, could you talk about what it is if somebody is like, I like the sound of that company, where should I make my focus? If you could talk a little bit about that, like what should their next steps be if they want to one day maybe end up working for you or a company similar to you? So I know there's a lot there, Jarrod, but and I don't want to cannibalize your talk a little bit later, but what do you think someone should be focused on if they're wanting to get up there in the SOC like you're in?
So my best advice for that would be definitely to pursue the Security Plus certification. It's recognized by the DoD, as compliant. I would definitely go after that. I think what honestly helped me was having a master's degree in cybersecurity. That really helped open some doors there. So my best advice would be to chase as many security-related certifications as you're able to, and do as much independent study as you can. Now, this is kind of spoiling the talk for later, but anything you can get to put on paper that, yes, I know about malware analysis, I know about packet inspections, I know about security best practices, that would be the best thing that would help you getting into the SOC.
John, what about you? Is there anything that you all currently specialize in equipment-wise that you think someone should be focused on if they're wanting to be at NIS?
We do. We're primarily on the hardware side. And I had a conversation with a couple of you earlier, and I like to ask the question, what's your passion? What's got you interested in IT work? Because there's two sides of it. There's the hardware side that I deal in. So if you're going to come to me and you're going to say, hey, I'm really passionate about that, I need you to be a little bit outgoing. I need you to be able to talk to people of all age levels and of all, IT intelligence levels. And we specialize in Cisco. We're a Cisco Meraki dealer. We have advanced certifications in that realm. We also are certified in a company called Sophos, which is one of the largest security companies in the world. And with those two, I actually offer a service level guarantee. So if you get breached, especially our municipalities or our county governments, I'll stand at the press conference with you. We believe in it that much. If it is another vendor firewall or switches that aren't necessarily Cisco or Sophos, then we give you our best efforts. Can we work on it? Absolutely. Do we have access to the same manufacturer support? Maybe not. There's some very cheap gear out there that gets installed. And our recommendation is since you've made the investment as a customer, we're going to work on that. But when it comes time to replace it, I'm going to recommend one that I'm certified in because we can control and manage it better. But if your passion is more on the development side and you want to build websites or build games or, work in that realm or stay on the programming side and actually write the code, then pursue that passion. If you're more introverted and you just want to work by yourself, there's guys that like to sit in a dark room and type on the computer. We used to have a development side, and that's where I want to put you. But if you're going to come to at least what we do today is we're pretty much all out in the field dealing with customers and, working with the hardware, installing the gear, being hands-on, like you said, racking it up and making it all work flawlessly for the end users.
Thanks. Does Advantage have any particular vendors you all mainly focus on that you could talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely agree with what these two gentlemen said. I definitely like the idea of kind of finding your passion and then seeing where cybersecurity kind of fits into that, and understanding kind of the nuances of cybersecurity when it comes to that field that you're interested in. But I also think familiarizing yourself with cloud services like Microsoft 365 and maybe even Azure as it relates to cybersecurity. We're doing a lot more business in those fields and kind of with cloud services. So I think that would be a big emphasis to keep an eye on, especially as it relates to cybersecurity, and as AI becomes more popular, the cloud services are only going to get more and more capable. So,
Great, thanks. Justin, is there anything at Alpha they've been telling you, hey, focus on this so you can go more deeply that you may know about?
At Alpha, they've basically said there's a lot of opportunities coming up. I haven't really been informed, but basically there's a lot of different branches that they're going out on. So I can't really speak which certain set to specialize in, but I can really only speak on the help desk side. I would recommend getting your CompTIA A+ certification, as we do a lot with hardware issues. And like vendors and stuff, we work with Sophos as well, and we work a lot with Microsoft 365 and Azure. So stuff like that to familiarize yourself in would be probably the best for the help desk side. I can't really speak on the networking side, but I would probably recommend the Network Plus certification at least.
Great, thank you, Justin. Wendy, what about Digit3? Do you all customize, specialize in a particular vendor?
Well, I mean, in terms of, we have lots of vendors that we work with, and in terms of all of them, the big ones that you would think, Dell, Microsoft, all that, and in terms of the hardware, everybody you would think of. In terms of the hiring, first of all, I meant to say this before. Shout out to all the girls in the room, because if you can tell, tech is a big. There's not a lot of us out there, and if you would have told me years ago that I would be sitting at a tech conference, I started out as a divorce lawyer. So kudos to you guys. When Brad and I hire, what we look at is we do look at somebody's resume, obviously, what their certifications are. But and we have the whole gamut. We have guys who've been in the industry 30, 40 years. We have people with master's degrees in cybersecurity. We have people with bachelor's degrees. We have people who have community and technical college degrees. What we look for are critical thinkers, problem solvers, and people who are interested in customer service. Because you can teach anybody anything, but you can't teach those things. That's really what we look at. And I always laugh, and I'll say to Brad, like, I'm not a techie. And he's like, yeah, you are. You know more what you think. Because I'm a curious person, so I want to learn. So if you're interested in this field, I think, of course, there's certifications you get. There's degrees you can get. But be curious. Be inquisitive. Think beyond a problem, because you'll see an issue. Someone may call in for a help desk issue that looks like it's super simple, but there may be a lot more going on there. And we're interested in the people who are going to really think critically.
That's a very great point. I had some thoughts as you all were going down. Here at Mountwest, I'm over the networking programs, and I teach the internships. So a lot of your all's companies I may have talked to once or twice to be like, would you like some interns? Something that I'll kind of like re-say to strengthen for you all to hear out there is self-learning. I helped run the Game Developers Expo years ago, and I've ran this. It doesn't matter whether you're doing game development or whether you're doing cybersecurity. I hear the same thing from employers that say, if you're going to be in an interview with me, it's great that you went to college. You had to do those assignments. I want to know what you're doing outside, because if I'm going to hire you, I don't want it to be pulling teeth to get you to research that client's project. I want to know that you are a self-starter and you're already curious about that client's project and you already research it. So for you all, I want to say out there and let you all realize that when they're hiring you, they're not hiring you for the information you know now. Potentially some of that's already stale. It's IT. I mean, even in our 2-year programs, sometimes some of that goes stale pretty fast. They're hiring you to continue to still learn and maintain that and still be curious and be happy to be learning that and researching that. So, yeah, any outside learning you can do, I would think would be a nice feather in your cap when you're doing an interview to say, well, I already built myself my own home lab and I've already worked on this and worked on that. if nobody was forcing you to do it, they at least can realize, oh, this person is self-motivated, and when we put them to a project, I'm not going to have to like look over their shoulder the whole time and be like, are you doing this? Are you doing this? So just something that I've heard that I think would be, useful to know about this. If possible, the way I look at IT at this point, I'm not jaded yet. I'm so happy every day that when I get up, I get to come and do this. Like, don't tell them, but I would do it for free. It's cool to have a giant classroom with 25 computers. It's like a giant sandbox. So if you can have that mentality, it sure makes getting out of bed a lot easier each day, instead of like hating the job that you're going to and then having to roll out and roll into the bathrooms and try to get dressed and stuff. So if you can do what you love, that's great. If you find that you get jaded or burn out on a certain section, there's like 120 other sections in IT. You can go into phones, you can go into cybersecurity, you can go into hardware. So that's the great part about it. There's tons of stuff out there. I do want to open it up if anybody has a question. We maybe have time for one question here, just to kind of go ahead and kick it off. But then I want to remind you, they all have exhibitor tables in there. Well, Jared's going to be doing a talk in a little while, so you could hunt him down. Justin is going to be helping me out, but you can also, I'll allow you to hunt him down and talk to him. But definitely Digit 3, NIS, and Advantage all have tables in there. So if you want to discuss more stuff with them, they will be more than happy to talk to you. But is there any, do you have a question out there maybe from the audience that we didn't cover that you think would be useful? No, well, then let me just say this. If you all can think of any parting words that you want to say that I didn't ask you, feel free to say it, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So anybody have anything that I didn't ask that you want to make sure they know?
IT works different every day. That's what I like about it. You meet a wide variety of people every day, and you're in different industries every day. In one day I could be in a county commission meeting and turn around and go to a hospital scenario and then go to a retail store. I mean, it could be different. So if you like variety, maybe IT is for you. You're going to do the same thing for those people, but you're going to help solve a different problem with the tools and the services that you have. And that's one thing that I like. I mean, I don't ever go to my office. I mean, nobody in there wants to buy anything, right? So I love being out and meeting everyone and networking and being involved in different groups. And that's something that appealed to me to be in this field.
I think there's kind of different personality types. I'm an extrovert. My husband's an introvert. So if you're in the IT realm, I think there's space for both of those personality types. If you are the person who likes to take help desk calls and you like routine and that's what you want to do and you want to have your biscuit at the same time every day and stay in the office, you can do that. If you want to be out, if you want to be about, if you want to meet people, have something different every day, there's room for that. You like putting out fires, there's always something exciting going on. So I think it's truly a field where there's a lot of different skill sets. It's a good fit for a lot of different personality types.
Agreed. I will just tag on to that, something that John said that made me think. By the way, if you ever get jaded in IT and you're like, I don't want to do IT anymore, you can be the person that goes out, as John was talking about, and talk to the customer. You already know the IT. You can listen to their business needs. They don't know what they need to buy, but you will have already had that knowledge, and you can help them go ahead and get the resources they want. You don't get to be the person running the wires and plugging it in, but you can definitely help them make sure they get the product they need. So that's a whole other field you can go into. So there's that. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up today. So if you would give a hand to all of our panelists, please.